In the last unboxing episode, we had JTV's president and CEO, Tim Matthews, here to talk about the President's Collection. Well, there was so much to cover, we had to split up the video. So let's check out what else Mr. Matthews has to show us. All right, so this is not a tanzanite.
This is not a tanzanite.
Not an opal, not an emerald.
No. Now, there are a lot of yellow gemstones, but this one is particularly special. This is a yellow sapphire from Sri Lanka.
I really like sapphires.
Do you?
Yeah, did you see, I kind of fell in love with sapphires when we saw Kate Middleton with the blue sapphire.
Who doesn't like sapphires? They make engagement rings out of sapphires.
Right,
in
Kate
lieu
Middleton.
of diamonds, like Kate's,
yeah,
right?
Kate Middleton.
This is a very special piece. This is 29.92 carats, so let's call it 30 carats almost. Right. This came from Sri Lanka. I've been to the mines there, and I want to tell you a little bit about that country. It's a fascinating story. They call it Gem Island, actually. It's so filled with minerals, all kinds of garnets and sapphires and other precious stones. Basically, in geologic time, Sri Lanka was a part of Africa. And imagine the island of Sri Lanka next to the island of Madagascar, which is off the east coast of Africa.
Hey, wait, there's sapphires in both of those places.
In both those places.
Yeah.
And Mozambique, where there's rubies, lots of rubies there. And of course, Tanzanite in Tanzania and Kenya as well. So all of that was kind of crunched together 1.5 billion or 2 billion years ago. We don't really know.
It doesn't really matter, right? Because we get gemstones, right?
I'm old, but I'm not that old.
Yeah.
Because of that, and because of the formation of all these beautiful gemstones at that time, well, of course, those gems stayed in the ground, and when the tectonic plates moved, the island of Sri Lanka moved. It moved to the east, and it rotated up, in conjunction with the country of India.
Okay. Got my map in my head.
all of the gemstones were in place, and they moved with them. So sapphire is fascinating as to how it's mined there, and it's mined typically in the riverbeds or ancient riverbeds that once existed that are no longer rivers.
Okay.
And they try to find these little nooks and crannies.
You've been in these ancient riverbeds
I have.
because you've been to the mines.
Right. Again, if you wanted to go to Sri Lanka, you would fly into the capital there, Colombo.
Yeah.
Right. And that's on the southwestern edge of the island.
Okay.
And then you would go almost due east to some of the interesting sapphire mining areas.
How far is the drive?
So it's a few hours because the roads are rough, it's primitive, but we went to a place called Ratnapura, which is also the marketplace for sapphire.
It's kind of in the business, Ratnapura, that's a big name because everyone knows that as a sapphire trading. So you had to fly from Knoxville to Colombo, Sri Lanka. So
well, that wasn't exactly direct.
I didn't see a direct flight. But okay, so you're flying around the world,
right,
and then you're driving to Ratnapura.
That's right.
It's a huge undertaking.
Actually, in this particular trip, I'd been spending some time in India. I'd spent a couple of weeks in India, and so it was a little puddle jumper from Mumbai, a few hours.
Puddle? You mean the small plane?
It wasn't really that small. Now, when you get into the hinterland, when you get in the forested areas and where the rivers are, where they mine sapphire, it's very remote. You essentially drive east from Colombo towards Ratnapura, and there are a couple major rivers there. There's the Kalani River, which actually flows east to west towards the western coast, and that goes through Colombo essentially. Yeah. There's also another river that's south of that, and that's where we were. Basically, a lot of these rivers are fed from the mountains in the center of the southern part of the island, and there's a famous mountain called Adam's Peak. And Adam's Peak is kind of an interesting place too, because major world religions attach significance to a large footprint that's at the base of the mountain, and to Christians and Muslims, it's the footprint of Adam, and it's also in Buddhist tradition the footprint of Buddha. Okay, so it's kind of a revered place. Yeah. So this is Adam's Peak, and so as the water drains down from the peak and the mountainous areas, it forms rivers. All these rivers have the potential for sapphire, and also you have abandoned rivers, where the river has changed courses. Well, in geologic time, there may be mineral deposits in those old riverbeds that are no longer rivers at all.
So you're mining with.
So you're trying to find those too.
So are you mining with are you sifting through the water? Are you cutting into the rock? How are you?
So basically you're going down into these deposits. Now, alluvial deposits are deposits that are secondary in nature.
Secondary source, right?
So have you talked about that?
I don't know. So do you want to do a quick definition, or just give an example of what an alluvial source is?
So this particular stone originated probably somewhere, in the mountains, but it was washed out, came down the mountains through erosion and through natural forces of weather, basically, and it started down the river. In fact, just like diamonds in South Africa, there are many diamonds that are on the beach in Namibia.
Which I think, could you imagine you're just on vacation on the beach, enjoying your lunch,
right? Because the diamonds have come down from the mountains.
Okay.
They've traveled through the water, They traveled in the riverbeds, and then they've been deposited. In that case, it's West Africa, so it's gone east to west there as well, as those diamonds have just traveled. So the sapphire traveled as well. The sapphire traveled in the riverbeds, and they typically, because of their weight and gravity and the way streams work, they typically get caught in the corners of the rivers.
Because they're so heavy.
As the river is winding around like this, typically in the slower parts, that's where there's more of an opportunity to be deposited. So on the river bends is typically where people are looking for sapphire. And they don't have to look very deep. Some of these mines are 10 or 15 feet deep, or 25 feet deep, or 30
So they're
feet
not
deep.
mining nearly as deep as tanzanite or other stones.
That's right. So in the case of the mine that I was at, we had an open hole. It went down 25 or 30 feet. You stood on a platform and you
I couldn't imagine.
crank down, right?
That's a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. But you're down there and you're looking at layers of deposits. And if you find a deposit, then great. It's great luck. And the people there, by the way, are just wonderful people.
Really?
They are so proud of their country. They're so proud of their mining activity, the way they do it in an artisanal way. They, by and large, don't like big open pit commercial mining like the big companies do. They like it.
It's artisanal.
It's artisanal.
Yeah.
It's the old-fashioned way, and they are so friendly and so cheerful and so proud of what they do. It's amazing.
So
it made me really feel good about buying sapphire there.
Oh yeah, I think that's one of the neater parts of the business is that you have these whole communities that are dependent on gemstone mining.
Right.
Did you find a gemstone yourself to bring back?
I did.
You did?
Several, actually.
What color?
Several colors. Brought back some yellow and some blue. And again, we have about 30 carats here. This is an oval cut.
And this is in the President's Collection.
Yes, this is in the President's Collection. And this came from Sri Lanka too.
Now, let's say that we have some viewers out here who aren't at JTV and they want to see the President's Collection. They can just go online and look at that. What do you recommend?
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Go online. We have hundreds of items in the President's Collection.
Basically, if you are a jewelry lover, a gem lover, a mineral specimen, there is definitely something for you.
Absolutely. At all price points,
That's
at all
the best
levels
part.
of collection, whether you're a beginner or very advanced and want something extremely exotic, you can find it there.
Okay, so tell me a little about this piece. That yellow, that is a bright yellow.
It is.
Great color, huge stone. What attracted you to this first?
Well, again, the size of this is a lot of sapphire. 30 carats is a very large piece. The amazing clarity of this and the quality of the cut. This is a very nicely cut stone. It's not perfect, and typically you won't find perfect cuts of this nature because they cut for weight.
Okay, we've talked about that
Typically.
before,
We've
so
talked
you have
about
to
them.
maximize the rough.
And we also went to the cutting factory.
Oh, really?
Which was kind of fun too. We have friends there who are in the cutting business, and we went to the factory there where this was cut. And I thought it was very special to follow, if you will, the chain of custody of the material.
Kind of mine to market.
Yeah, mine to market.
Yeah, we should do another episode about mine to market. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And
Now-
it's pretty hard, on the Mohs scale, so it's perfect for an engagement ring or any piece of jewelry or even just a collection.
Absolutely. It's a corundum, so it has that element of hardness that's very important to a lot of people, and certain applications for jewelry are perfect for it, like rings.
Right.
Even
I'd
if-
wear it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sapphires, we talked about treatments with tanzanite. Sapphire can be heated or unheated.
Right.
This is,
So this is an unheated piece.
and that's a big deal.
It's a big deal, and you love this kind of color that's never been treated. A lot of gemstones are treated to improve their color, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way.
No.
But the more valuable pieces typically are not treated. This is one that's not treated, and there's a way that you can tell that.
How so?
You take your loop. Do you have a loop?
No, I think I
you
left
have a
it at
loop.
my
All right,
desk.
so take a 10x loop. Look at the inclusions very carefully, and you can tell when a sapphire is heated because the inclusions explode.
They kind of look like they're fireworks almost.
Yeah, there's differential thermal expansion
Right.
between the inclusion material and the sapphire or corundum
All
material.
right, guys, so that color, that's what was pulled out of the ground, which I just think is fascinating that Mother Nature gives us this. And, nothing was done. The only thing that was done to manipulate the stone from rough to what we have now is cutting and polishing, which is no easy feat, but
Right.
it's still pretty incredible.
Cut for size, cut for beauty, right out of the ground. This is a great
It's
piece.
huge. And it's almost, you see kind of some types of yellows, like I see more of an orange and a canary.
This is a deeper color yellow though. Again, if it were too lightly saturated, it would be less valuable. Because this one is very deeply saturated, it has a lot more value.
I see one more box.
This is something I wanted to mention too. This is 4 carats, 4.44 carats to be precise. Also from Sri Lanka. This is all sapphire material. Look at all the different colors of sapphire that we see here. Beautiful, different
So
colors.
we've got kind of a pinky purple, blue, yellow. Is that a colorless?
Yeah.
From my angle it is.
Yeah, you can have white sapphire. White is typically what they would call a colorless variety. This is an example of inexpensive material that's in the President's collection.
How much can you tell
I
us?
don't recall the price of this exactly, but it's not even $1,000 for all these pieces.
For how many stones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, roughly 8 stones, 4 carats. I mean, less than
And all the colors. And you also get a variety
And
of
the
shapes here.
President's
You've got ovals, you've got cushion cuts. For example, someone who's interested in starting a collection, why not buy an inexpensive set of a variety of colors?
I think that's the perfect
And this
way.
gives you 8 different colors.
And when you do buy, if you were to buy a set like this, everyone, you don't have to set it. You can just leave it on your desk or on your nightstand just to look at and enjoy. You know, there's really no perfect way to have a collection.
But there's always a story behind a collection.
Do you have a story behind this one?
Well, not this one in particular, but the country of Sri Lanka, which is so interesting, and really it's known for sapphire. Next to Burmese sapphire, which is extremely rare,
Right.
difficult to find. A lot of it's mined out. Sri Lanka is a very popular source to get sapphire. And most people don't know. If you want to share stories with your friends, ask them, what are the colors of sapphire? Most people would say,
Only blue.
Only blue.
Which is-
or maybe blue and yellow, but they don't realize that there's white sapphire, which looks like a diamond.
It's gorgeous, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
There you have it, collecting. You can collect jewelry, mineral specimens, cut stones. I think it's even cool just to collect rough. I have some rough in my jewelry box actually. So there's really no right way to do it, but if you do want to start collecting and you want to learn more, you know, JTV, Jewelry Television, always your first stop. You have your YouTube host here, but we have plenty of stuff on the internet to learn about. We talked today all about opal. You gave us some great stories from Australia, tanzanite, sapphire, emerald.
You didn't comment on my own jewelry.
Which
Jewelry for you today.
Oh my gosh, I didn't cufflink. I didn't even see
So
that.
turquoise from the Kingman mine, very popular mine, by the way.
Wow,
Set,
and I
set
see
in rose gold.
Rose gold. Did you mine that yourself, or did you
Of course
buy
not.
it in? Did you buy it in Arizona?
One of our favorite vendors, we sell their material here, is Bellari.
I love bull.
And Bellari makes beautiful designs. We love her work. Maybe we should invite her sometime.
Yeah,
because
I mean, if I can wear some of her jewelry.
Bellari
I
is
love
both
her
a
stuff.
person and the name of the company and
Right.
and the brand. So it's all mixed together. But Bellari as a person is a wonderful person.
She would do
and
good on
she is
TV.
unbelievable in her design. She's meticulous in the quality that she executes.
Wow.
And so,
Whoa, what's the? I see blue stones right there. What?
yeah.
What are
so
those?
those are tourmalines.
Indicolite.
Yeah.
It looks nice with the. It like brings out the blue of the
Yeah, it does.
turquoise.
How
You
about
want to
that?
hold it up to the camera a little bit?
Yeah, how about that?
Look at that. All right, everyone, please send a smiley face to Mr. Matthews and tell him thank you for coming. He's extremely busy, so we're thankful that he was able to take some time out of his busy schedule and join us on YouTube today. This was I don't think I've ever gotten this many boxes, so you've set the bar high for future guests.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you too.
All right, everyone, keep collecting, and we'll have some more gem ventures in the future.